J's for Justice.
If you're gonna find me for my heart, all you gonna get is battle scars. Baby, I'm a tiger, 27. Baby, I'm a rifle, one bite you dead. So if you're gonna find me for my heart, all you gonna get is battle scars.
What can I say any more than desire? More than just a pretty face.
J's for Justice.
So you better walk away. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Only one love at the side of the fire.
Wait a second, you guys. We have
Someone who
breaking
can handle me. Someone cut your heart today. Oh yeah, oh
Something
yeah.
scary.
If you
Wait a
try to
minute.
come
I just got a
closer,
text. Oh
I'ma
my
give you some
god.
closure before you know it, it's over.
Wait a second, you guys. We
So
have
run
breaking
away,
news.
run away.
Oh my god.
I'm not trying to hurt you,
J's for
but I will
Justice.
if I have to. I'ma tell you what I do. Run
Oh my
away,
God.
run away. Baby, I'm a fighter, never backing down. Baby, I'm a soldier, standing my ground. So if you're gonna fight me for my heart,
During
all
an
you gonna
interview
get
with
is
J's
battle
for
scars.
Justice
Baby, I'm a tiger, 20 steps ahead. Baby, I'm a rifle, one bite to dead. So if you're gonna fight me for my heart, all you gonna get is battle scars. Baby, I'm a fighter, never backing down. Baby, I'm a soldier, standing my ground. So if you're gonna fight me for my heart, all you gonna get is battle scars. Baby, I'm a tiger, 20 steps ahead. Baby, I'm a rifle, one bite you dead. So if you're gonna fight me for my heart, all you gonna get is battle scars. What can I do? Gotta keep every heart safe, so we make it out alive.
J's for Justice.
I don't wanna waste no time. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Try to play nice so I won't give you heartache. Trust me, baby, when I say,
J's for Justice.
girl, you better walk away. Oh yeah, oh yeah. If you try to come closer, I'ma give you some closure before you know it, it's over. So run away,
Something
run
scary.
away. I'm not trying to hurt you, but I will if I have to. I'ma tell you what I do.
Something
Run away,
scary.
run away. Baby, I'm a fighter, never backing down. Baby, I'm a soldier, standing my ground. So if you're gonna find me for my heart, all you gonna get is battle scars. Baby, I'm a tiger, 20 steps ahead. Baby, I'm a rifle, one bite to dead. So if you're gonna fight me for my heart, all you gonna get is battle scars. Baby, I'm a fighter, never backing down. Baby, I'm a soldier, standing my ground. So if you're gonna fight me for my heart, all you gonna get is battle scars. Baby, I'm a tiger, 20 steps ahead. Baby, I'm a rifle, one bite to dead. So if you're gonna fight me.
I so I played a cut with my homies, dressed in all black and we cozy. Can't say you love, you gotta show me. I ain't with my guys, then I'm dolly. Ain't no vibe like this, they don't rock like this, and you know we don't miss. Swish, they don't catch my drift, tell them mind they biz, or catch my gist. Ain't no vibe like this, they don't rock like this, and you know we don't miss. Swish, they don't catch my drift, tell them mind they biz, or catch my gist. I'm in a cut with my homies, I'm in a cut with my homies. Show no love to the police, show no love to the phonies. No love, no love. She wanna come to my homie, she wanna ride like a pony. Better pay up if you owe me, don't come around like you know me.
Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. Hey, Roberters.
Roberta,
Hope you guys are having a great Mother's Day. Hello out there. My lighting is a little bit weird, but I wanted to hop on and say a personal happy Mother's Day to all of you out there. I hope you have a relaxing day doing whatever it is that you enjoy doing. And while we go over this new news in the Patrick Frazee case, I am going to switch you over to something a little more cuter. Is that a word? Cuter? All right, Roberters. So while I talk, you guys get a new doggy cam. It's a new doggy cam, but it's a new view. Look at that. Look at it. Look at that. All right, Roberters. Thank you for joining. If you are not familiar with my channel and this is your first time here, welcome. And if you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button. And as always, a free way to support your favorite creators is clicking that like button. It's actually really, really that simple. All right, so let's get into it, shall we? If you guys are familiar with this case, you do remember what happened. If you are not, I'll give you just a little quick Reader's Digest update. It's been a few years. This happened in 2018. Patrick Frazee out of Florissant, Colorado, was found guilty in 2019 of first-degree murder in the death of his fiancée, Kelsey Berreth. Now, Kelsey went missing on Thanksgiving, and she was last seen on Thanksgiving, I should say. And she was seen at the Safeway grocery store in Woodland Park, Colorado. Now, Frazee was sentenced to life without parole for first-degree murder, plus an additional 156 years. Okay, so in other twists in the case, Patrick's former girlfriend, I guess you could call her former. I don't really know. It sounds like they had something current. But apparently her name is Crystal Kenny, and she was a nurse from Idaho. And she testified against him and said that she was directed on Thanksgiving Day to clean up Berreth's condo. And that she got there on November the 24th and that there was blood all over the living room floor, splattered on the walls, on the carpet, in the bathroom, behind the couch. There was blood everywhere, she said. And she states that she cleaned it all up. But she said that she was thinking when she did it, so she left small spots for investigators to find. And it was Kelsey's family who actually found some blood in the bathroom and called investigators. But Frazee later told Kenny, according to Kenny, that he beat Berreth to death with a baseball bat and then he burned her body at his ranch. And this is a quote from Miss Crystal Kenny. He said he just swung away and that it was really hard. And then she added that Frazee told her Berreth begged him to please stop. Prosecutors said Kaylee was in the apartment when Patrick killed Kelsey. Crystal also said that Frazee told her to take Kelsey's cell phone to Idaho so it would look like Kelsey took off. And of course, she complied and she took the phone. It last pinged near Gooding, Idaho the next day after she cleaned the apartment or the condo. So Lee was charged with tampering with evidence and pleaded guilty, agreeing to testify against Frazee. So they offered her a plea, testify against him. So they said that he tried to convince Crystal Kenny 3 times to kill Kelsey. And then an inmate testified during the trial that when him and Patrick were in the clinker together, that Patrick asked him to kill Lee, Crystal Kenny, Crystal Lee. Notes between the two inmates list more than 10 people who needed to disappear or be unseen until after the trial. And then a friend of Frazee, Joe Moore, not sure how they're connected, but Joe Moore testified that they were together in April of 2018 when Joe asked Patrick, "How are things going with Kelsey, man?" And he claims that Frazee's response was, quote, "I figured out a way to kill her." And then he said that Frazee grinned and said, "No body, no crime, right?" So after that, that same dude, Joe Moore, said that in December, the two met up after Kelsey was missing, and Frazee was surprised at the media's interest in the case. And that was on December the 20th. And then on December 21st, Patrick Frazee was arrested and charged with murder. So Crystal Lee Kenny actually is no longer in prison. She's not there anymore. She's been let go. She's a free woman, which is an absolute travesty, in my opinion. I don't think that girl should have gone anywhere. But nonetheless, this was the plea bargain that was worked out with her. And I guess that's what we have to live with. I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. But we can read through this civil case and the latest happenings, because who would have thought this was all still crazy behind the scenes? So the first thing that we're going to look at here is this. We're just going to go through this one real quick. All right, so this was filed on March the 8th. And this says, before the court are the parties' status reports filed on February 16th of 2022 and March 8th of 2022. So, long story short, this order is about a stay, okay? So the parties request that this case remain stayed pending the conclusion of the criminal case against the defendant, which is currently pending before the Colorado Court of Appeals. So right now, Patrick Frazee's appeal is pending. So I believe that Cheryl and Daryl Berreth were trying to get a stay until his appeal was either denied or, whatever is going to happen. So it says here that given this case has already been pending for more than 3 years, rather than continuing to stay the case pursuant to the court's April 1st, 2019 order, the court instead administratively closes the case pursuant to Local Rule 41.2. So they can reopen the case. They're not saying that it's closed. It was closed for good cause. And they have to file a joint report regarding the status of the criminal proceedings within 30 days of their resolution, or a joint report within 30 days of a mutual resolution. So in other words, so they vacated any dates that were coming. So they want them to work it out. They want the parties to work it out. So I believe from what this says, I don't have the Berreth's letter to Patrick, but there are two different lawyers that withdrew from Patrick's case in the past year. So now you see it says Patrick Frazee pro se. So he is representing himself now. And no, you don't see it because I didn't change the page. But yes, you will see it in just 1 second. There you go. Okay, so he is now representing himself. His lawyers said, F you, buddy. I don't know the story behind that. I really don't know why. One moved to Arizona, it said, and then the other one withdrew because I think they were affiliated with her, the one that moved. So I don't know what the deal is, but he wrote this letter representing himself, responding to some kind of an offer that the Berreths had made him. Now, like I said, we can't see the offer from them, but this is basically Patrick's counter offer. So, all right, here we go. I had to get that switched around. Okay, so here is the letter, and Patrick actually submitted a copy of the letter that he sent to the Berreths, and he filed that with the court. So I'm going to read that through right now. And this is dated April 7th, 2022. So this is brand new, like a month ago. And it says, Your Honor, please find enclosed a duplicate copy of a letter to counsel for the plaintiffs in the case of Cheryl Lee Ellen Berreth and Daryl Lynn Berreth versus Patrick M. Frazee, declining the plaintiff's offer in this case and countering with the defendant's offer. Respectfully, Patrick M. Frazee, pro se. And then the address there at the prison in Colorado, where he's at in Ordway, Colorado. So here is the letter. Are you guys ready for this? Let me get a drink. Hold on.
Roberta.
Roly-poly, daddy's little Betty. Betty's gonna be a man someday.
All righty. Here we go. Mr. Bailey. Again, this is penned by Patrick Frazee. Mr. Bailey, that is the Berreth's attorney, after review and consideration of the plaintiff's offer of a stipulation of dismissal without prejudice, with each party to bear its own attorney fees and costs for the Colorado District Court case 19-CV 0027 PAD, Cheryl Lynn Ellen Berreth and Daryl Lynn Berreth versus Patrick M. Frazee, the defendant respectfully declines. So I'm confused because they're suing him, but then there's this offer of dismissal without prejudice, which means they can never sue each other. They can never sue him again. And all they're trying to recoup is attorney's fees. I don't really understand. So I would love for a lawyer to look this over and tell me what the heck this all means. So then it says, from January 1st, 2019 to date, the defendant in this case, which is Patrick Frazee, has acquired attorney's fees and costs to the amount of $19,445.47 battling this civil case against him that the plaintiffs intentionally sought against the defendant, not the other way around. The defendant counters the plaintiff's offer with the following. Now, are you ready for this? This, oh my Frazee. Oh my Frazee. So here's his offer to the Berreths. The defendant counters the plaintiff's offer with the following. Parties in the above-mentioned case agree to a stipulation of dismissal with prejudice. And the plaintiffs bear the above-mentioned amount by reimbursing the defendant in full. Okay, so let me back up. Dismissal without prejudice is where you can sue each other later. Dismissed with prejudice means you cannot. So here's Patrick Frazee sitting in the clinker, and this is what he's offering to her parents. What? Let me read that again. Parties in the above-mentioned case agree to a stipulation of dismissal with prejudice, and the plaintiffs, who are the Berreths, bear the above-mentioned amount by reimbursing the defendant in full. He's asking for them to pay him $19,445.47. The plaintiffs in this case sought multiple civil cases against the defendant, the earliest being 10 days after the defendant's arrest. It is obvious now, as it was on January 1st of 2019, that not only was this a rush to judgment on the plaintiff's part, but an attempt to bombard the courts with groundless, frivolous claims long before the wheels of justice could begin to play out. In addition, these multiple cases were an attempt to taint the relentless media and the court of public opinion in a smear campaign against the defendant. The defendant would like to remind the plaintiffs that the wheels of justice have yet to play out. As stated in the defendant's status report to the District Court of Colorado, the defendant has laid forth several meritorious claims as to why he was wrongfully convicted and why the reversal of this wrongful conviction is warranted by law. The defendant holds strong to his assertions of complete and absolute innocence. Upon retrial, hear that word?
This guy is just a nut.
Upon retrial in the criminal case or trial in this or any civil case, the defendant is prepared to defend his innocence to the false accusations that have been made against him. Furthermore, this case, along with every other civil case the plaintiff sought against the defendant, was undoubtedly an attempt at financial blackmail. In an attempt to deplete the defendant of resources to defend himself in the criminal matter, now the plaintiffs seek to dismiss this case long after an excessive amount of money has been spent by the defendant to represent himself through counsel in this civil case. So the Berreths were going to dismiss the case. The defendant lays forth one question: why seek financial gain prematurely instead of seeking the truth, and the truth is in all caps, of what really happened to Kelsey and where she is? The defendant, along with his private investigative team, has compiled an extensive analysis of the case and the false accusations brought against him. The written statements of once Commander Chris Adams from the Woodland Park Police Department rings as true today as they did on December 1st, 2018. That was the day he was arrested. And it says, quote, based on the facts, Crystal Lee concealed her whereabouts to Chad Lee, who was her husband, combined with lying to FBI agents. It is reasonable to believe Crystal Lee's statements are unreliable at best. His statement speaks volumes to any and all accusations made against the defendant. The defendant extends one final offer to the plaintiffs. Oh, I hope you're sitting. I hope you're sitting, folks. We can band together, you and I, to seek answers, the truth, and all to have closure to the situation or not. The offer is there, the option is theirs, and the ball is in their court. In closing, the defendant rests on a hope and a prayer that the two parties can come together instead of being adversaries on separate sides of the aisle. Both sides teetering on statements that still today remain, quote, unreliable at best, end quote. Respectfully submitted, Patrick Frazee.
What?
I mean, you guys, I was stunned when I read that letter. I am so stunned. I mean, I read this and I didn't even know what to say. Really didn't even know what to say about it, but I knew I needed to show you guys. And I have one other update. Cheryl Berreth and Daryl Berreth's pastor spoke out. Let's see, this was a year ago, actually. It's been a minute, but it is actually the first time we've actually heard from them in quite some time. All right, so let's see here. And this is a video, so let me pull this up. I know. It's absolutely stunning. I don't know. Maybe it's not a video. It was a video at one point. I watched it. Hold on. Let me refresh this. Dang, it actually showed the pastor and everything. That's really weird. Okay, but anyways, I'll just read it. I'll read it through. Okay, so Spokane, Washington. Colorado mother Kelsey Berreth has been missing since Thanksgiving. Oh, this was an updated article. Okay, so here we go. Her mother and father faced the difficult job of raising their 1-year-old granddaughter, as well as finding a way to get back and forth to Colorado for the trial for the man engaged to marry their daughter. So this is kind of a mixed up article, but it'll all make sense. It'll all come together. Kelsey grew up in the Moses Lake area. Her parents now live in Sandpoint, and for the first time, their pastor is speaking out about the heartbreaking ordeal that the family is going through. This story has touched the hearts of people across the country. More than 350 items were sent to a church in care of the Berreth family. And the pastor says, a parent's worst nightmare, as you can imagine. They have been carrying a heavy load, end quote. And that was from Alvaro Souza, pastor at Sandpoint Seventh-day Adventist Church. Nearly 1 month after Kelsey's disappearance, her fiance, Patrick Frazee, was arrested on December 21st for her murder and solicitation of her murder. And the pastor goes on to say, holding together, they have a lot of friends, family members, and of course, their church. Daryl and Cheryl, who are Berreth's parents, now Sandpoint residents, keep in close contact with their church as they cope with a difficult time. So then the pastor also says, initially that I was talking to Daryl just about every day and having prayer with him. Kelsey's parents have been active members of the Sandpoint Seventh-day Adventist Church for 3 years now. And he says, quote, they're just waiting for God to do something. And then it says, to show support, the church held a 24-hour prayer vigil for the Berreth family. We are much with them in our thoughts and prayers. The church is doing its best to support the Berreth family with faith. They want Kelsey to be found. And it says, as they cope with the disappearance of their daughter, that they're also raising Kaylee, Kelsey's 1-year-old. And the pastor says, it's a joy also to have that little girl. They say they're hoping others will pray for them. That's a real source of encouragement for them. They attribute it to God, to their friends, their family, to their church, the Seventh-day Adventist Church. So it's a real blessing. He's really making sure we know what church it is. Police say they don't believe Kelsey is alive. Still, her body has not been found. Kelsey's brother set up a GoFundMe for his parents to cover the cost of travel between North Idaho and Colorado. And they also had a registry for Kelsey's little girl. And that is my updates. Crazy stuff. We do have a new mugshot of Patrick, which is on the thumbnail, but I know we always look at the mugshots. What do you guys think of this? What do you think of... I see Jenny, you say you're triggered by this. It's... Thank you, Mike Sanner. Aw, happy Mother's Day to the moms. If it weren't for all you, the rest of us wouldn't be here.
Roberta.
I agree. You guys lived in Woodland Park? It looks really pretty there. I mean, I think it's a safe community. I don't think this is a reflection of the community. Yeah, I agree, Jenny. I agree. It's crazy. It was like he's got the audacity But what if, I'm just going to throw a little twirl in there.
Do you like to twirl?
I'm going to twirl your mind a little bit. What if Crystal Kenny is lying? What if Crystal Kenny was jealous? What if she was jealous of Kelsey and she went over there and murdered Kelsey and cleaned it up? I don't know. I mean, stranger things have happened. I don't think she should be out of jail either. I mean, isn't it sick to think that she's walking around free? I mean, like, talk about making a deal with the devil.
The devil is dancing tonight.
I think because it was in Cripple Creek because that's where Patrick lived. I don't know. Was it moved there, Grandma? Like, I don't remember. I think it always... She is just as evil. I mean, to think that she's out, I don't know, man. It's quite disturbing. So let's see. Of course, this picture is from the Daily Mail. Let's take a gander here. He got rid of the bowl cut. I think the guys in prison said, the bowl cut is no longer a good idea. Looking like Mo is not a good look. So he went with the buzz. Cripple Creek is where okay, that's where the county courthouse is. That makes sense. That makes complete sense. So really all we are going off of, and I think what he's trying to say is that Crystal Kenny is a liar. So he's like, well, why you believe in her? Why you believe in her? I'm not saying if she did it that he didn't necessarily ask her to, but what if she did? What if Crystal Kenny pinned it on him? Dun, dun, dun. Just kidding.
Maybe we can help him solve this mystery.
Christy Lynette says she always felt safe in Woodland Park. Well, the interesting thing is, the prosecutor is the same as the Morphew. Isn't it? Isn't it Linda? Isn't Linda the prosecutor? Linda the prosecutor who goes on YouTube before a case has even gone to trial and talks about it? All right, I'm not sure if it's the same lady. Let me see. Sorry. Prosecutor. Let's see. Oh, there's Crystal Kenny. But it wasn't the prosecutor that Linda Lee? I can't remember her name. Oh, Dan May. No, that blonde lady helped, though. It's the same lady. I'm telling you guys. Hold on. Prosecutor Morphew. I know I'm not crazy. It's that blonde lady, right? Who's Linda? In the Morphew case, then. Linda Stanley? So she wasn't in both, you guys? Oh my gosh, I can't type today. Oh my gosh, I really can't. Or spell. Why did Barry Morphew's daughters address Linda then? I could have sworn this woman was involved in the Frazee. She was not, you guys are saying? What's this picture about? Is that real? Or is someone hosing her?
Hello and greetings to residents of Fremont, Chaffee,
Whoops.
Custer, and Park County. My name is Linda Stanley and I'm running for District Attorney in Colorado's 11th Judicial District. I'd like to take this opportunity to provide you with a little bit of background information as well as why I am the best choice for District Attorney for this district. I was raised in Iowa by my dad, who was a farmer and a United States Marine. My dad taught me how to hunt, fish, and to always do the right thing. Growing up in the Midwest by a Marine father, I also was instilled with the lifelong values of character, integrity, loyalty, trust, and love for.
Do you think Linda's going to strike me for playing this? What is this? Is this her campaign video? Is this real? CCC, is this normal out in that area? Like for a campaign video to have dollar store flags as the backdrop with wires? Oh, Jennifer Weichman. Yeah, the backdrop.
Ashley, nobody said yikes, he hasn't come home, Ashley.
I'm just wondering if it's appropriate for district attorneys to do like interviews on YouTube about cases before they're concluded. I'm surprised Morphew didn't get it thrown out because of that. Do you guys, is that legal?
My country. Utilizing my skill set as well as my education, I want to share with you the three main goals I would focus on as your newly elected district attorney. First, I would meet with law enforcement in each county and ask them what it is specifically they need from me while letting them know that as a former police officer, I know the importance of the role a district attorney plays in their job. We need to work together.
The music, though.
We need to work for the fast but
listen to the
proper
keyboard
resolution for cases, and as your district attorney, we will. Second,
why am I
I'm going to meet
picturing
with the employees of the
Wormser
district
and the
attorney's office
Revenge of the
and have
Nerds
frank
in the
conversations
background?
about what it is they need immediately from me. If higher pay is the main issue, which I suspect it may be, I will have discussions with them about some of the changes I can implement right away, such as 4 10-hour days, flex schedules, working from home, or even an extra week of vacation. I understand pay raises are important, but I also understand they take time. I need to instill in my employees the trust that I always do what I say I'm going to do. Third, I'm going to meet with the county commissioners in each county and discuss numerous issues, including those pay raises. I understand from past individuals that may have held this office that some county commissioners may be somewhat gun-shy about any statements or promises made by the district attorney. It'll take time to repair that mistrust that the county commissioners have, whether justified or not. I'm willing to take that time to reestablish this very crucial relationship. Lastly, the district attorney's office is not a popularity contest. The difference between my opponent and I is that I understand I will be held accountable for every
Who was her
decision I
opponent?
make.
CCC, do you know who her opponent was?
I will elicit the assistance of the media in order to spread the word to everyone about the reasons behind the decision I made. The fact that I am a public servant is not lost when I am your district attorney. You deserve the answers. You deserve the truth. And as your district attorney, you will get them. Please vote Linda Stanley for district attorney. Thank you for your time.
Ashley, nobody said yikes, he hasn't come home, Ashley.
Wow, that was a random find. Was it done during COVID? I don't know. I don't know the exact date the interview was done. I just heard she was on YouTube giving interviews. And I don't know. I just wondered if that was okay. And my apologies. I guess I had the two confused. I want to look up that Jennifer. What's her last name again? CCC? Different lady. Totally different lady, but they're kind of similar in ways. That's who I had mistaken her for. Was her. Thank you, Colorado Crime Con. I can't believe you still have that name.
Roberta.
It's so funny. So yeah, I had them. That's Jennifer Veman. Jennifer Veman was one of the prosecutors in Kelsey's. So I stand corrected. 2 different women, 2 different cases. You would think, healers, you would definitely think that that would be a better option. But apparently the flags taped to the thing. Oh, look at this. How old is this? 2020. I never saw this, though. She went to a halfway house. Look at her. She looks terrible. The judge was mad about the interview. She did. She went on both the channels. Surprised that she would do that. It's kind of risky on a high-profile case. Caitlin Turner was her opponent. I wonder if Caitlin has a video. This is Crystal Kenny when she was released in 2020 and went to a halfway house. Unbelievable. So all they'd found, remember, was a tooth fragment of Kelsey's. I love it, CCC. It's so funny. Okay, so let's look up Caitlin real quick. Caitlin Turner. Let's see who the other choice would have been. Former deputy district attorney somewhere. Let's see if she's got any videos.
There's a new woman in charge of prosecuting cases in 4 southern Colorado counties. Caitlin Turner officially sworn in this week as the district attorney for the 11th Judicial District in Canyon City. And News 5's Andy Cohen joins us live from the Fremont County Courthouse to introduce us to the new DA and tell us about some other changes that have already come about, Andy.
Elizabeth, District Attorney Caitlin Turner is going to have some immediate positions to fill. Recently, Deputy District Attorney Tom Ledoux announced his resignation, as well as the resignations of 2 other senior prosecutors. But she told us not to worry. All of the cases are going to be handled. District Attorney Caitlin Turner is ready to prosecute cases.
The job at the District Attorney's office is public safety and justice. So that's what we'll be doing in my office.
The former federal attorney and Bureau of Prisons advisor was appointed by Governor Polis to fill the vacancy left by the sudden resignation last month of Molly Chilson. Her background impresses county leaders.
Hopefully she'll be a great advocate for our law enforcement in the 4 counties, because that is something that we definitely need.
Chilson's departure caught a lot of people by surprise.
In fact, earlier that week, we had met with Molly at the office up in Salida on a separate matter and didn't get any indication whatsoever that she was planning on resigning at all.
There's been no disruption to the day-to-day transfer of prisoners to court. Sheriff Alan Cooper's biggest concern is the office being left shorthanded.
That's just going to load up the remaining attorneys with cases, and so I don't want to see anything fall through the cracks.
Turner said there's nothing to fear. Other district attorneys and the Attorney General have all reached out to offer their help.
We've got a plan for coverage, and hopefully we'll get some good candidates who want to come and join us in the 11th.
And Turner will serve out the rest of the term that Chilson was elected to. It expires in January 2021, and Turner told us today that she is planning to run in the November 2020 general election. Watching out for you, Andy Cohen, News 5.
There's a new woman in charge of prosecuting cases in 4 southern.
Okay, that's really crazy because her credentials are crazy good. She was a federal prosecutor and they chose Linda. Agent Gruesing? I don't know. Let's look. Agent Gruesing. Let's see. Patrick Frazee. We'll see if he worked it. It looks like agents Chris Adam and Greg Slater. I don't see him connected to Patrick Frazee. Let's look up Morphew because I don't know.
I don't know.
He doesn't know. He does not know.
So Jonathan Grusling is retired. He's a retired FBI agent. But I don't see him involved. I don't see him involved in the other case, in the Frazee. Linda, listen, Linda. Maybe there was a sudden family situation. I don't know. It's just weird. All these people resigning and I don't know. There's just a lot. There's corruption in every, I don't know what you want to call it. Not just in politics. There's corruption in everything. In every group that is made, there's some type of corruption. I just think that a lot of this is becoming a lot more transparent because of online and the ability to see more. And I think that people are online more and paying closer attention. I think it's an interesting question, good grandma. I think it's an interesting question. If Barry Morphew watched and followed the Frazee case. But check this out. I never heard this before. They're saying that Barry asked 2 FBI agents, what about immunity? Can you give me immunity if I just sit and open my life to you? I wonder what he meant by that. Man, I just don't know. It's just these cases are crazy. Colorado just never ceases to amaze me. It is, Remy. It is. We just have to be very diligent. I think we have to be very diligent about, is on YouTube, we have to be very diligent about what kind of news we're reporting on, what kind of news we're, spreading and giving to people. This day and time, it's ludicrous to think anyone could get away with murder. I know. And they think they can, and they think that they can pull it off, and they think they can lie, and it's nuts. He was asking for immunity to just talk to, Oma. Oma. Well, hopefully we have some answers. Hopefully they find Suzanne wherever she is. They find her. And they can get some closure here because I saw the interview with Barry and his sister, or his sisters. Oh my gosh, his daughters. And it's on my channel. Part of it is, you could see it. The link is in the description of that video for the whole interview on Good Morning America, but pretty bizarre stuff. And I just feel like those girls have gone through a lot, And who knows what they know. Who knows what the dynamics are? We don't know. We don't know these people. We only know what the media has allowed us to know and what we've learned through court documents. That's all we know. Well, I guess Suzanne's family and friends, we know about her, but it's just been, it's such a division of this side against this side in these cases. So I agree, Yvette. Colorado needs to get their shit together. They really do. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks for joining me for this update. I thought it was interesting, and I hope you guys did too. If you can click the like button on your way out, if you did not already. And Lisa Cartmill, you are the latest.
Roberta.
Welcome to the fam. And I hope everybody has a great Mother's Day, whatever it is you're doing. If you're chilling, if you're spending time with fam, whatever the hell it is you're doing, I hope you enjoy the day. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning for the beginning of the Depp trial is off this week, but we're doing updates on this channel. So tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. is when we are beginning our recap of, I think it's 15 days of trial? We're going to be going over and breaking it down. Commentary, call-ins, all that good stuff. So happy Mother's Day.
Roberta.
I love you guys. Enjoy your day.
I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. 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 You wanna be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to France, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time for that. Staying up late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs. Buy new shoes.